Hey, hello, Jeff Big Daddy Wayne here with another YouTube video on my channel, Big Daddy Knows. And today I'm going to be talking about comedians that work dirty, about comedians who use four-letter words, comedians that don't seem to have enough talent just to make something funny. They have to use foul language to get a laugh. Cheap, vulgar, locker room talk, as Donald Trump would say. I've been a comedian for over 70 years now, ladies and gentlemen. I've worked in front of audiences from opening from Frank Sinatra to kings and queens in Europe, to beautiful cruise ship audiences, to little get-togethers, people having coffee where they hire a comedian to come in and cheer them up because they're so depressed. I told jokes actually one time in a hospital. They asked me to cheer people up, and I'll never forget this memory of a woman lying in bed, eaten up with cancer. I mean, it was hard to look at, but I overrode that because I just wanted to cheer her up. And she had been in a coma for like 6 months, and they just said, tell some jokes to her. Maybe that, because humor, comedy is what started motion pictures in the United States. You know that, don't you? Yes, comedy started motion pictures. Charlie Chaplin, Friday Arbuckle, the Keystone Cops. And radio started with comedians. Eddie Cantor, Jack Benny. Those were the shows, Amos and Andy, that kicked off. And talkies, yes, with Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers and W.C. Fields. They started the talkies. And then television. It was Milton Berle. Yes, Milton Berle, who started all that comedy on TV. That's why they called him Mr. TV. And then cable TV. It was comedy that started it on Showtime and HBO. All those comedy shows. And then, of course, they discard us. Because then they start building to what they really want. Some kind of film that makes a statement. Who needs statements? What we need is laugh. And I'll never forget standing at the foot of that bed with that woman in a coma, dying of cancer, all eaten up. And I started telling jokes. And some of the nurses started laughing. And let me tell you something. She opened her eyes. And the nurses gasped. And I just went on telling jokes, feeling a great fulfillment. And she started to speak. She was speaking. And one of the nurses went over to hear what she said. And when we were finished, a couple of the nurses applauded. And I turned to one and I said, what did she say? And she looked at me and she said, please let me die with dignity. Well, what can you do? We brought her around for a few minutes, didn't we? Well, anyway, to get back to this subject about these comedians. A good friend of mine once said, if you write out your act and the punchline is fuck, find a better way to say it. There's a funnier way. Because, if you walk out and just say fuck, shit, piss, that's cheap. That's cheap. That's no effort to make a beautiful joke, a beautifully crafted joke. And I say this because I've seen incredible comedians like Jon Stewart, a brilliant comedian, and sometimes you'll get to just fuck, shit, piss. We wonder why our society is dumbing down. Two broke girls, every joke is a dick joke. It's dick joke, vagina joke, tit joke, vagina joke, tit joke, tick joke. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening to us? Buddy Hackett said, if you're dirty, it's not funny. If it's funny, it's not dirty. But Buddy Hackett was a brilliant comedian. He could work like that. Ladies and gentlemen, something has to be done because this is just my opinion to me. Excuse me, if you have to use filthy language to get a laugh, I don't think you're talented. I don't think you're that funny. And I want to offer this thought to all my fellow comedians out there. And God bless you. I understand it's not easy. But try to work harder. Try to have a little class. Try to be funny without having to resort to being base and juvenile. You motherfuckers, come on, get off your fat asses and fucking try to think. Try to be funny, you fucking asshole motherfuckers. I don't really give a shit. Fuck you. Eat that. Go to hell. And subscribe to Big Daddy Knows.